if you want to contact me, my email address is there below, and my WhatsApp number. We do provide trainings in different fields, especially in network administration, uh, data science, AI, and Microsoft, especially cloud computing. So if you want to join us, you are welcome. Just use my email address or maybe my WhatsApp number. Just send me a message. Without wasting our time, we're going to start with our first training in cybersecurity. That may be 6 to 7 days or 7 lessons. What you need to do, you need to watch all my lessons or all my videos, and you need to contact me so that I can give to you access so that you can write your final exam. So if you succeed, a certificate will go and one from our academy showing that you completed your training. Right? So don't hesitate to contact me. And I will start by sharing my screen, and we are going to start. So we're gonna start cyber security, right? Very easy concept, and so I'm gonna be using easy definition so that you guys you can understand better, right? So first we need to define what is cybersecurity, right? So what is cybersecurity, right? So let me stop sharing. So when we are talking about cybersecurity, we are talking about principles, we are talking about practices, we are talking about tools, right? So cybersecurity, we are talking about principles, we are talking about practices, we are talking about tools that we are going to use in order to protect our businesses, right? So when it comes to cybersecurity, means we are talking about principles, practices, tools for protecting assets. So I'm going to make it short. So we're going to protect assets, right? So I'm going to write it down for you guys. So we're talking about protection of assets, right? Or we're talking about tools, practices, principles for protecting assets. All right. So basically, this is what you need to understand when it comes to cybersecurity. So we are talking about the practices, the tools, principles for protecting assets, right? And when it comes to asset, we do have 5 assets. So types of assets. So we're gonna talk about those type of assets that we need to protect. So we do have 5 assets, which are so, and we're gonna talk about those 5 assets. And I'm gonna use my pen here. So when it comes to cybersecurity, so as I said, we are talking about like protection of assets, right? So and we do have 5 types of asset. The first one is what we call the hardware. The hardware. The second one is the software. Software. The third one, we're gonna protect data. The fourth one, we're gonna protect like people. And the last one, those are the processes or documentation. So basically, we're talking about cybersecurity. means we're talking about the protections of assets. And when it comes to assets, we do have 5 assets, which are hardware, software, data, people, and processes. Right? Very easy. So guys, very easy for you to understand. So we are talking about cybersecurity, means we're talking about protection of assets. And those assets are 5 at the basic level. So if you can understand those 5 assets, means you got basic knowledge in cybersecurity. So those 5 assets are hardware, software, data, people, and processes. So it means you as a cybersecurity specialist, you as a cybersecurity consultant, you need to understand that every time you need to conduct your audit, or maybe you want to support a company when it comes to cybersecurity, you need always to remember that you need to understand those 5 assets, right? If you got a good understanding of those 5 assets, the remaining concept will be easier for you, right? So cybersecurity, what you need to understand, not longer definitions, short and easy. We are talking about protection of assets. Those are the principles, the rules, the practices, the tools that we are going to put in place in order to protect those 5 assets, which are data, people, software, hardware, and the processes. Right? Now, we are going to talk about those 5 assets one by one. Right? So I'm going to try to share again my screen and we can proceed. Yeah. So what does it mean when we are talking about hardware, right? So when it comes to hardware, you know what are the hardware? Like what? Like your PCs, like your cameras, right? Like your printers, those are the hardware, right? And when it comes to software, it's like your Windows, like your Microsoft Word, all the software that you are using on your PC, right? And what I want to come down, okay? I want just to come down, but I have a headache here. How to come down? Most of the time, it's giving me a headache, so I have issues when it comes. I don't know. Okay, I can even separate here. At least you can understand what we are doing. So I've explained about the hardware and software and the data. When it comes to data, those are like what? Like your files, your folders, your images, your movies, those are the data, right? And when it comes to people, those are the users, yourself who are using computer, who are using your phone. You are under people. And when it comes to the processes, those are the documentations, right? Documentations. So yeah, so we are talking about hardware, software, data, people, and processes. Those are the assets that we need to protect, right? Now it means this, when it comes to hardware, those are the things we can touch and see, like your computers, your modems, your routers, your wireless access point, your printers, your cameras. Those are the things we can see and touch. Those are the hardware, right? So your responsibility as a cybersecurity specialist, you need to know how to protect the hardware. You need to know how to protect printers, cameras, computers, and so on. Number 2, software. What are the software? Like your Windows, like the list of applications that you are using on that particular computer or on that particular phone. Those are the software that you need to protect. So number one, we need to learn how to protect the hardware. We need to learn again how to protect software, because those hardware will have software. Now our responsibility is to know how to protect those software on those hardware, right? So when you are done protecting the software, you need to move to data. Remember, your phone has movies, pictures, your laptop has files, folders, and so on. You need also to protect those data. After protecting data, right? So you are done protecting the hardware, you are done protecting the software, you are done protecting data. You need also to protect those people who are using those phones, those tablets, those laptops, those printers, and so on. How to protect people? It means you need to train users. You need to train people how to use computers, how to use like cameras, their phones, and so on. So meaning you need to provide them basic cybersecurity knowledge, right? Like maybe how to choose a good password, what to do when maybe they are they are online, and so on, right? This is the meaning of protecting people. But we're gonna go deeper. We're gonna study how to protect people, right? And the last one, those are the documentation, the processes that you need to protect. Remember, every business, even yourself, you know what you did in order to protect your phone. Those are the principles, those are the processes, your rules when it comes to protect your phone. Those things you cannot divulgate them, right? So even to your boyfriend, sometimes, even your girlfriend, you cannot divulgate those information, because that relationship can finish maybe, right? So those are the things that you need to understand when it comes to cybersecurity at the basic level, right? So if you can understand this today's lesson, means at least you got 10% of knowledge when it comes to cyber security, right? So now, if you are doing this training with me, you need a notebook somewhere where you are taking notes. Page number one, cybersecurity training. Page number two, lesson number one, introduction to cybersecurity. And what we're talking about today, we did define what is cybersecurity. Those are the principles, the practices, the tools that we're going to use in order to protect our asset. And when it comes to asset, what are the assets? We do have 5 assets. We spoke about the hardware, and do you know what does this mean by hardware? Those are the things I can see and touch, like printers, computers, and so on. And we need to protect the software. Remember, those printers, those cameras, those computers will use software, God software, and you need to protect those software. After the software, your computers, your laptop, your phone will have what? Will have data like images, movies. Those things also need to be protected. After protecting data, what else you need to protect people? You need to train users on how to use computers, what to do when they are connected, when they are like online, and so on. We're going to discuss about all those things. And when you are done, you need also to protect your processes, your documentation when it comes to cyber security. Yes, guys, those are the things that you need to understand from the beginning. Remember to contact me. My email address is there, my WhatsApp number. If you want to join our trainings, we do provide free trainings and paid trainings. For paid trainings, we do conduct one-on-one session wherever you are. We do have students all over the world, so the location is not a problem, and we can I can just send you like a schedule depending on your availability. You can just let me know, maybe you're available on Monday or Tuesday around like 10 p.m. Maybe if it's Canada or Paris or wherever, just let me know and I will be connected and I will assist you, right? So this is what we're talking about today, right? Now I'm gonna share again my screen, and remember we do have different trainings, so you can do this particular training, cybersecurity, or you can move to other trainings, right? It depends on you. Just contact me if you want to know more about our academy. Yes. Now let's talk about the first one, the hardware, right? So we are talking about the hardware now, right? So this hardware we're talking about, the protection we're talking about here when it comes to a hardware, we're talking about the protection against this protection here. We're talking about two types. So the protection against physical access and remote access, remote or distance, right? So when it comes to the protection, we're talking about number one, it's the hardware, right? We're talking about the protection against physical access and remote access, guys. What does it mean, guys? We're discussing about protecting five assets. Asset number one, this is the hardware, right? So you got your laptop, you got your company. Inside your company, you got so many devices, routers, wireless access point, modems, printers, cameras, computers, laptops, or desktops. So those are the hardware, right? Now we need to protect them against two types of access: physical access and remote access. It means that somebody can access your computer physically or remotely or via distance. It means that somebody can be in US, somebody can be in Canada or Australia. That person can access your phone, your laptop via distance, via the internet. You understand? So when it comes to protection, protecting your hardware, you need to understand that we're talking about two types of protection: against physical access and against remote access. So if you are conducting an audit, let's say it's a bank, you go to a bank, you are a cybersecurity specialist, you are coming to audit the bank when it comes to information security. From level number one, you can start by auditing the hardware. You can start by understanding if the bank is protecting the hardware. And you, as a specialist, you will know already that when it comes to a hardware, I have to check two types of protections: physical protections or remote protections or distance protections, right? Yeah, guys, slowly by slowly, we are moving. Oh, okay, I'm trying just to come a bit down. Yeah, I'm trying to get a space so that I can. Okay, let's talk about physical access first. Physical like access, right? Rule number one: nobody must touch your hardware. Must touch your hardware. This is the rule number one. So it means that nobody must touch your phone. Nobody must touch your phone, your PC, your printer, and so on, right? So guys, you need to understand this. My mouse is not working anymore. What's going on? I cannot even click anymore. I cannot even see where I am now. Okay, what I can do. So rule number one, guys, when it comes to protecting your hardware against physical access. Nobody must touch your phone, your laptop, your printers, your cameras. You understand? Nobody must touch your phone. Nobody must touch your laptop. Nobody must touch. Don't say, hey, my phone got a password. No. Hey, my phone got a password. My phone got a fingerprint. My laptop, you just leave it there and you go. Right? If someone can touch your laptop, no matter how long your password is, that password can be bypassed. You understand? So if I can touch your phone, if I can touch your laptop, I can bypass any password you have. You understand? So that's why they are saying make sure nobody can touch your devices, because by touching your device, someone can bypass it. Someone can bypass your password. You understand? It means that I can just come with my USB. That USB has a program, a computer program. That computer program, it's for bypassing password. You understand? So when I will plug my USB to your laptop, like automatically that computer program will be running, and that computer program will do what? Will bypass the password. Same way as your phone. I can use an adapter like a cable where I will plug my USB to your phone, and that program that is there on my memory card or maybe on my external device that I'm going to plug to your phone, what's going to happen? That program will be launched. Understand? And that computer program will do what? Will bypass the password. Understand? So from the basic level, you need to understand that nobody must touch the computers, devices at workplace. Why? Because by touching them, they can bypass, right? This is a principle number one. I will share again my screen and we can proceed. Number two, not only nobody must touch your computer, you need also to understand that. Okay, let me just say, let's talk about the security measure, because we say that if somebody can touch your PC, somebody can bypass your password. Now, what are the security measures? What are the security control or measures that you need to put in place, right? What you need to do? Number one, you need to lock. You need to lock your devices, right? So if it's a router, a switch, a wireless access point, you need to lock it. You need to have a key, right? Remember, there are also laptops where you can lock them. You need to lock your devices, right? Your PCs, your computers, you need to lock them. Besides locking them, you need cameras. You need the cameras. You need to monitor them, right? You're gonna have cameras in your companies, so those cameras will be watching users' computers so that nobody will approach them. You understand? So you need cameras, guys, to monitor your devices. And beside cameras, you need to disable port, guys. Any port that you are not using from your computer must be off, right? So those are some of the security measures that you need to put in place. And you can also have badges, right? Like people will have badges before accessing some of the offices and so on. Understand? So guys, we are talking about security measures. What to do, right? You must make sure you lock important devices in your company. You lock them, you got keys, and besides locking them, you need to have cameras. Those cameras will be monitoring your devices in your company. Besides that, guys, remember a laptop can come with many ports. Those ports must be off, because if your ports from your computers are off, even if I can plug my my external drives, my external USB, and so on, it will never work because the ports are off. You understand? So you need to keep your port off. So those are some of the security measures you must put in place, and make sure that you got security guard by the gates and so on, all those kind of things, right? So you as a cybersecurity specialist, you as a cybersecurity consultant, what you need to do, let's say you are auditing a company when it comes to information security, right? When it comes to hardware, you need to check those things when it comes to security measures. You're going to ask them, guys, when it comes to hardware, how are you protecting users' computers when it comes to physical protection? What are the security measures are you putting in place to protect your workers' computers? You understand? And you're going to check so if those guys are complying or not. Those are some of the things you need to understand when it comes to physical protections, right? Now, I'll be sharing again my screen. We're gonna go for remote protections. Remember, guys, as I said, somebody can access your computers remotely also using the internet or the network, right? So now we're gonna talk about remote access. Remote access or distance, right? Very easy to understand, guys. This is your laptop here, right? And this is the internet here. So this is maybe Durban city, you're in Durban, and there is a laptop here from Cape Town. Maybe it's your friend. Your friend wanna send you maybe like a message or WhatsApp message or email and so on, right? So this person from Cape Town here can also access your computer. This person can also do something on your computer, right? So what you need to do now when it comes to protecting your computer, your hardware, your phone against remote access, right? What to do when it comes to security measure. What are the measures you need to take, guys? Number one, what you can do what we call authentication. All right. Authentication means what? It means that in order for you to access my computer, you need the username and you need a password, right? Before accessing my computer, even from the internet and so on, you need a username and password, right? But later on, you can understand that those two things are not the last. You can also add something else. You need a token or OTP again beside the username and password. Maybe you need a card again, right? Remember that why when you go by the ATM, most of the time you insert a card, right? So it means that card has a username, a password, and physical card again, because you can know my username and password, but you don't have a card, that physical card. This is what we call a multi-factor authentication, the MFA, but we're going to talk about later on. But at the basic level, guys, you need authentication. Your device needs a username, needs to request a username and password. And beside that, you need to do the encryption. The encryption means you need to encrypt your communications, right? If you don't know what does it mean by encryption, it means you need to code your communications. It means you need to change the format of your communication before leaving your laptop. So it means what? So when I'm sending you a message, that message needs to be coded, right? So if I'm saying hi, that message hi before leaving my phone, remember, messages will use the hair. Messages will use waves, right? So between your computer and my computer, between your phone and my phone, we are using the hair. We are using hair. We are using waves, right? Okay, let's say there's a laptop here. There's another laptop here, right? This is the hair we are using, hair here, or waves. We are using waves. So data will be moving using waves, right? And that data can be intercepted. So somebody can intercept the communication. Somebody can capture the communication and change it. You understand? So I can have my laptop. My laptop has a software. That software will allow me to capture communication, to capture signals, right? And by capturing the signal, I can change it. Maybe you wake up in the morning, you send to your mom a message. You say, Mom, morning, how are you? But because there is somebody in the middle of your communication, that person has another software. That software can capture the signal. That person can capture your message that you are sending to your mom, and that person can change it. That person can say, Hi, mom, can you send me 1,000 rand, please, on e-wallet? And when the mom again will send that e-wallet money, that person will capture and that person will see the password and go and retrieve the money, and that person will send back to you, gonna say, Hi, I'm good, thank you. You understand? So this is how somebody can capture a signal and change it. Now you need to do what? You need always to encrypt your communication, and the encryption will happen from the device. So from now, don't worry how to encrypt. The encryption happens from the modem, from the router that you are using, right? So don't worry first for now. You need just to understand that when it comes to communication that we are going to exchange, that communication needs to be encrypted. And that encryption will be done using my phone, my router, and so on. So at the basic level, don't try to understand further stuff because you will understand them better later on. So guys, as I said, when it comes to remote access, you need username and password for someone to access your devices. You need to encrypt your communications so that even if somebody can capture the signal, it's going to be hard for him to understand the meaning of the message. And beside that, there are other security measures like firewall that you need to install or to activate on your device. You need to use VPN when it comes to remote communications and so on. Those are the things we are going to go further later on. So for today's lesson, guys, just a key takeaway, you need to understand that we spoke about cybersecurity and we spoke about the meaning of cybersecurity. You can understand that this is the protection of assets, and we spoke about those 5 assets, which are hardware, software, data, people, and processes. And we spoke about the hardware. And when it comes to hardware, how to protect, we spoke about 2 types of protections. We spoke about remote protections and physical access protections. And when it comes to physical access protections, we said that nobody must touch your devices. By touching your devices, somebody can bypass any password that you have. And what are the security measures? We spoke about you need to disable port that you are not using. You need to lock your devices. You need to monitor your devices. And beside that, we spoke about remote access. And for remote access, as we said, somebody can access your devices using the network or the internet. What you need to do, you need to ask for authentication. Somebody needs a username and password for accessing your devices. You need to encrypt your communications. You need to code your communication so that even if somebody can capture your signals, that person cannot understand the meaning, or maybe that person must have expertise in order to decrypt or to understand the communication. That will take longer. So those are the things for today you need to understand. So you just go to page number 1, cybersecurity training, page number 2, lesson number 1, it's introduction to cybersecurity. We spoke about what is cybersecurity, means the protection of assets, and we do have 5 assets, which are hardware, software, data, people, and processes. And when it comes to hardware, those are the things that we can touch and see in our businesses, like our phones, our tablets, our computers, and so on. How to protect them? We do have 2 types of protection: remote protection and physical protections. And when it comes to physical protections, you need to lock, you need to disable port, you need to monitor. When it comes to remote access, you need to authenticate, you need to encrypt, you need VPN. When it comes to remote access, you need firewalls and so on. So guys, next time, next lesson, we're gonna talk about software, right? Remember, protecting a device is not just one layer or one control, right? It's multiple layers. When you're done protecting the hardware, now you're gonna ask yourself a question. Okay, my phone has software, my phone has applications, so I need also to protect those applications, right? So when we are done with the first layer, which is the hardware part, we need to move to the second layer. Those are the software that those devices will be using. Those software also needs to be protected. So lesson number 2, we're going to talk about protecting our software, right? Remember, if you want to join our trainings, my email address is there, my WhatsApp number is there. You can just WhatsApp me or send me an email. You can request for cybersecurity trainings, networking, cloud computing, and more. Thank you very much. See you next time.